Hello and welcome to the 2023 Las Vegas Challenge, presented by Innova. This is a Disc Golf Pro Tour Elite Series event and the first stop of the tour. My name is Holly Finley.
And I'm Connor O'Reilly.
We will be your commentary team for this season. Thank you to Ace Run Pro. They will be covering the FPO chase card at all of the big events.
If you didn't already see the front nine, we've had some tough conditions today. It is cold and it is windy. Rebecca Cox in the clubhouse with a 2 down. We got Katrina and Henna 1 stroke back through 9. Holly and Hailey hanging out right there at even, and a lot of tight scores as you'd expect day 1 of a 4-day tournament. Hole 10, par 4 at 381 feet. This one's going to be playing pretty directly into a headwind. You have a hazard bunker short of it, so you're going to have to make a decision. Do I really want to press it up towards that bunker, or do I want to put it kind of short? But that approach is going to be very touchy. Pretty steep hill on either side of this basket, and you don't have more than 2 to 3 meters in front of it where you got to land that disc on so you don't slide off the back. Some of these players like Hailey can really get up there and attack this for birdie, but this wind's going to make it get a little scary. And that's a good spot to be. You can kind of slide it up, avoid having to throw it over the bunker, kind of play to the side of it.
Hailey's in a great spot for birdie because this is a par 4. Ohn will have to send her upshot over that hazard bunker. Hailey can almost give it a putt if she wanted to.
And all of them making sure to put that hyzer on it and get left. That's definitely a smart play here if you're not looking to attack for that eagle. Pardon my MPO speaking earlier. Jessica gonna play a little bit opposite, try to fade to the right side in front of the bunker, and we'll see if she can bust out that touch forehand for this tricky approach.
This sand pit is like a vortex. Oftentimes you feel like you can throw your upshot long enough and it doesn't quite get there. Ohn, on the other hand,
pinpoints it.
Yes,
She
that's
knows
exactly
how much
what
that
you're
means.
looking for.
Yeah,
That's the upshot I want on every hole out here.
You go any bit long and you miss metal, you're back in that sand pit and you're having to putt with another stroke.
And that putt is scary. Uphill, windy, hazard behind.
This has to be one of, if not the most precarious greens you will see on this course.
And Cat Mertsch will have that exact putt we've been describing. King for bird.
Ooh.
Little.
Going for the big bird with the soft approach, but she puts it up. She'll get the small one.
I don't like smart.
Kat telling us that it hurts her feelings to have to play it smart there, and Jessica knocking down the nice birdie putt there.
Good to see a strong putt from Jess.
Another birdie cleanup for Ohn there, as well as Hailey. Kat went a little long with that approach, has to settle for the par. But she made her decision, so she can live with it. Breathe it out.
Here we are on hole 11, 411 feet. The fence to your left is out of bounds, as well as the cart path to the right, so that gives you a pretty big space to work with. If you're not going to attack this for a birdie, the positioning could be important because the upshot can get tricky depending on where your drive lands. Also, this is an elevated basket this year. This green has always been kind of windy in the past, and making it elevated, it's that much trickier.
Yeah, elevated, tucked into those trees a little bit. It used to play a little closer to that fence line on the left, and interesting to see this one chosen as a par 3 when it plays 30 feet longer than the last hole. And another wrong basket parked us around this This wind is having a way with these players right now.
Hailey King, unfortunately, out of bounds here on the 11th. Ohn Scoggins up next.
And it's funny how much par can affect your strategy on the course sometimes, where you see this hole called a par 4 maybe, and Hailey isn't trying to really park it and give herself a chance for birdie. She's more okay with just putting out a consistent drive. So sometimes you can let the course par trick you, make you play more aggressive than you really need to, just thinking about the difficulty of the shot at hand.
Weese with a clean drive out in the middle of the fairway.
Cat's gonna look to get a little turn out of this one. And she's been coming out with just a bit too much hyzer all day. This one's able to check up nice though.
Yay, we like it. We like it. It's safe. We're looking at a par. Ohn sends her hyzered up shot into the green. And we'd like it to be a little closer, but Ohn's a great putter, so she'll have a circle's edge par putt.
Yeah, she probably wanted to push it on the backside of that bushy tree. And Hailey pushes that one way too straight. That's going to be a 45-footer to save a par.
And you can see, as I mentioned, the green is kind of protected by these trees, so you really have to think about your upshot carefully. Ooh, I loved that.
Almost a little pole tap there for Jessica, and she should have a pretty solid wind to be able to throw that hyzer putt if she wants to.
It was a really good touch forehand up from Kat Mertsch.
Her best of the round so far. Very runnable wind condition here for Hailey, but that elevation just makes it a little scarier, and having that tree behind, if you go long, you don't want to have to deal with that comeback. I want to ask him for the wind to pick up maybe, so she can understand what it's doing, so it's not hiding from her.
Ohn missing her par putt. And Weese does as well. And I feel like if that was a regular height basket, those putts probably would have went in.
Yeah, that elevation just adds another layer. Makes it hard to just do your routine stroke. All of a sudden you're putting up, and it's different.
This one got away from a couple of the ladies. Snagging a few nasty bogeys on this one.
Definitely a tough hole, one that, unless the wind's in great condition and you got a big arm, you probably should just play it smart, chip up, move on. Hole 12 is going to be a 354-foot par 3. Playing back in the opposite direction, we're finally going to have that tailwind offering a good attackable throw for these ladies. Tucked into this tree line, the key here is to pick your gap and to slide it up for a putt.
The cart path does not play out of bounds on this hole.
Very good to note, as it does on pretty much every other hole throughout the course.
And this basket is near some trees that give it kind of a low ceiling, so depending on where you land, you could have a knee putt or possibly super crouched
putt.
putt.
Angle for Kat.
Look at that!
Tree.
In the circle, Kat Mertsch will be putting for bird on the 12th. A great shot.
That thing was going to go 50 feet long if she didn't hit that tree. It was a good line. Spin was a bit high, but she committed, and that's what matters.
Weese with the forehand, and she's up there looking at a birdie putt as well.
Yeah.
That's back-to-back tasty shots. Give us that run back.
There's that Flight Factory run back again, flexing that thing over. Nice big flare skip, and then it plops over. Sits down inside of that regular bullseye even, possibly. not just the Las Vegas Challenge Round 1 bullseye. And Ohn gets a little flat here, but the disc is fighting nicely. Just not quite the speed she needed on that one, and almost an unrunnable putt from there, truly.
The bush is taking away most of the sensibility in running that putt. Hailey King with the distance to get there.
A little too much height there, but that
That's a
power
putt.
showing through as it pushes through, even as that nose is up.
I feel like a tailwind putt for me is, I'm feeling more comfortable running that than the
Yeah.
headwind.
I feel, yeah, you know your stroke in the tailwind, and the headwind, it's not quite a guessing game, but it can feel like it sometimes in terms of that touchy nose angle.
And King sneaks the birdie in there, right side, barely dropping in.
Fist bump out of the hand. We love that.
Oh, the wind's so strong it blew her hat off. Gotta tighten that up, babe.
Yeah, one of those days, depending on which one of these holes you're playing, you got to have it forwards or backwards.
I like that Cat Mertsch is wearing the cat hat with cat ears.
She's a character for sure.
We've got her birdie putt here from about 15.
Gotta love that jack-o'-lantern putter she's been using too.
Solid putt.
Cat able to pick up her first birdie of the back nine.
Weese for birdie. She gets herself one as well.
Been a tough day putting for Jessica, but days like that, those holes where you put it close to just that sigh of relief, like, okay, I know I got this one. And Ohn maturely laying up, taking her three, and sailing off into the wind. We see birdies from 3 of our 4 competitors. Let's see if Ohn can get it going on the back nine here on the 13th.
Hole 13, this is a tricky one. You have the sand bunkers surrounding the basket and its OB behind. Also that golf green on the right, that's out of bounds. So you can play this hole for birdie, but if you land in the sand, you're right there at the basket, so you're putting for par anyways.
This one, I almost want to call it the classic Las Vegas slot machine. Just throw your shot, ring it up, and
See what
you get.
happens. It's a good way to put it. Mertsch up first.
And that tree in front of you is low enough that it kind of gets in your head, though it does look like it
They've
opened
trimmed
up.
it.
Okay,
They trimmed it for us this
I remember
year.
it being
Thank
very
you, Disc
low
Golf
there.
Pro
Yes.
Tour. That branch before was way too low, especially as a tall person.
Yeah, and especially being a shot, you kind of want to come in with some touch. You just had to kind of jam it low, and whoa, that thing zoom skipped there. I think it caught the
Tee of the
tree
previous
branches,
hole.
though, and Terry's giving us the safe. Terry Miller, the real MVP out there.
T-Dog keeping it real. Hailey King
Hailey flipping that one a
throwing the
little bit
arms up in the
flat.
air. Where is it going? Sometimes in the wind, it's always a surprise.
Yeah,
Maybe
you
Ohn
start to
can-
lose trust in the discs. and-
Yeah. She's going to get up there for a putt. I mean, it's a par putt.
Yeah. Ooh.
I thought Kat almost threw that in, but she will have a putt for par.
Oh, and Hailey, that's going to be a tough one to swallow. Trying to just lay up and flips it over a bit. Just needed a bit cleaner spin out of the hand.
And Jess gives it a go for bird, but she'll have an easy drop in from there. Scoggins for par from the hazard. Solid.
And let's run that one back. Ohn Scoggins is a sickening putter at times, and hearts that one. Looks like it might be a little bit high, but that stabilizing flutter just finds the chains.
Mertsch cashes her par putt. That looked really solid.
Yeah, she found that tailwind you're talking about and was really able to commit to her comfortable stroke. And Hailey's had a solid round going, so that one's going to be tough for her to swallow, but 6 holes left to go, so plenty of opportunities. 5 holes, sorry. putt, but not able to get that first birdie of the back nine. And here we are on the 14th. This one is 294 feet with an out of bounds path on the left. Got a couple trees to navigate around the green. This one's going to be very attackable for these ladies, and after a tough round, one that they're going to be looking to give themselves a circle one look on. We'll see if Jessica busts out the forehand or the backhand here. It's going to be a tricky forehand line, pretty tight there.
The wind getting just more and more aggressive as the day unfolds. And Kat Mertsch sends her drive up there. She'll be looking at a birdie putt here on the 14th. Weese up next, doing a bit of a flex line. She'll swing in towards the green. Another park job from Weese. We've seen that, the back-to-back from Weese and Mertsch on the previous hole. Another run back.
Man, after seeing that backhand out of Jessica, I'd like to see her throw some more throughout the day. To me, the forehand gets tough in the wind. You have less surface area of the hand on the disc, so it comes out a little more wobbly just in general, and I think the backhand really cuts the wind just a touch better. And that one was beautiful. Ohn cooks this one over just a bit, and she's going to have to send a prayer if she wants to score here.
Hailey King taking a wide hyzer route, hoping to flare skip in towards the basket, and she'll have about a 45-foot putt for birdie.
Yeah, the wind just enough off the left there to not really let these discs skip back, but instead just kind of skip forward.
That was a perfect upshot.
Great pace. Land it flat. Tricky wind angle, but Hailey probably upset after the last hole, wants to give this one a bid, and she does.
Kat Mertsch for birdie. Yes, she had that strong looking putt on the last hole. Another strong putt. We saw her previously in the round. She was hitting the front of the cage on the couple. Just needed maybe an inch or two higher. I feel like she's found it now here on the back nine. And Weese taps in her bird.
Yeah, days where it's as windy as today, you have to go to a whole nother layer of strategy sometimes and really try to put your disc on a certain side of the basket, especially if you know you're uncomfortable into certain winds. I don't think I've ever seen anyone use the putter pouch down low like Ohn is right there. Oh. Interesting.
Dragging in the dust a bit. Here we are on hole 15, 269 feet. It's a couple of different ways you can attack this hole. You can go the straight shot, it's a forehand through that left gap. You can go high hyzer, just punch it to the sky and let it crash in at the basket. Also, you can do what I call the FPO play, where you just throw right into the trees and let it drop down into the green.
When there's trees that close to the basket, guys, use them as a backstop. It can work. Oh, we see a left-handed shot out of Kat Mertsch. I didn't know she had that. And she almost sneaked it by there for a look.
She was thrilled to try it.
Maybe something she's been working on in the offseason. I think as a lot of players are recognizing the stress forehand can put on the game, having a right-hand, left-hand, backhand combo is pretty lethal if you ever could figure it out.
Jessica Weese has a 300-foot lefty. She had some arm injuries in the past, and she played lefty, I think, for a whole off-season pretty much. She got really good at it. Ohn takes that hyzer route I mentioned, and it's sort of a surprise. You just send it up to the sky and watch it crash in the green. Ooh, King with the lefty. I've seen her practice it on Instagram as well.
This girl's busting it out. This is showing some confidence in the game. 2 of 4 throwing with the offhand. You don't often see that, but this hole, it's a tricky one. Like you said, I think maybe they thought they could at least hit the gap of those trees and drop down somewhere.
Right. And that's about a 30, 25 footer from right there.
Also just kind of showing, sometimes some days like today, you got to find ways to have some fun and not let the game grind you down too much.
Keep it lighthearted.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, Scoggins just laying up for par here. Not quite in a good position to give that putt a run. And Weese, even though she's close, just, again, not in a good position to give it a bid.
Yeah, I probably wasn't really able to see the basket on a direct line. Would have had to throw some kind of Anheuser.
Hailey King for par on the 15th. Falls out right side.
Jessica puts enough on it. Cleans up that par.
Get in there.
Looking to do the same, and it slips into that right side.
I love the outside chains. Those are my favorite chains.
You just like the little adrenaline rush. Hailey with the unfortunate double. Hurts to see when she pulled out the fun little lefty shot and just let the focus slip a bit, maybe. That hole can do it, though. It's tiny. Tight little gap up near the green.
It's all fun and games till someone gets a bogey.
Beth at 69.
I just told myself, you got to will this one in there. Whatever you have, just will it in there.
This man is unbelievable. This is what athletes live for. This is the moment.
Hole 16, big bomb, par 4, 533. You got a decision here to make in terms of whether you want to push it up all the way into this green or play it short. You do have that hazard bunker there on the right. That's going to be kind of in the range of a lot of these players. Out of bounds cart path on the left throughout the whole flight as well. This one is also on a tiny little mound with some trees surrounding. But you can kind of slide it up the green and into the mound, making the approach pretty simple as long as your drive is in a good spot.
The wind was blowing right to left, dragging the disc towards that OB sidewalk, so it's really important to control the angle of release on your drive. Kat Mertsch is way down the fairway.
Jessica gonna go big outside flex, utilize that wind. Not quite enough turn, you can tell it's gonna stall out. And she's gonna have some tricky stuff to deal with, and let's see if she decides to try to birdie still from there.
Ohn sending it to the right side, letting it work its way back left. She'll have a nice safe shot in the middle of the fairway. This is an attackable par 4. If you get just a decent drive, you can easily get an upshot into the green. The hardest part is actually landing on the green. Look at Hailey King.
Pushing up towards that golf green, and she's going to have a short standstill chip up.
It's the longest shot I've ever seen here. Ohn Scoggins with her second.
Oh, I'm going to need this one to dig into that hill and just gets over.
What a perfect spike-hyzer that was. She'll be putting for birdie.
Going to have that nice tailwind set up on the putt. I'm not necessarily a betting man, but I'd probably bet on Ohn to make that one.
And Weese is safe.
Yeah, comes in with a lot of pace. She had to kind of play it low there, hoping to skip back, and probably just looking to chip up for par from there.
And if that sits down, it'll be a great position for Kat. This mound is just so tricky to land on, and I hope Hailey's right there by the basket. She might have a drop-in birdie.
Jessica getting to a knee just to deal with this low ceiling, give her some more height.
That's fine. You don't need much more than that. Much more than that, and you'll go over the mound past the basket.
Kat knows this putt's going to rise, and
That is such a brave putt.
it is.
Scoggins for birdie. Very nice.
Yeah, no questions about that one. Jessica gonna have to play this one low, let it rise, and just a little bit too much there. Can be tricky putting uphill and on a headwind.
Weese will take a bogey here on the 16th.
I wonder if she'll play just a regular hyzer forehand out to the right in a similar wind condition next time, and knowing she'll still have enough to get to the green.
Hailey showing us the ideal way to play the hole. She made it look way too easy. Taking away that birdie, drop-in birdie. Here we are on the 17th. We do have the cart path OB. Everything on the right, I believe, is inbounds. This is our elevated basket secured by chains from the ground and the trees. You just want to send a drive as far as you can. It's only 333 feet, so if you do it just right, you can get a putt here. Oftentimes, if you're a shorter human, you might want to lay up further away from the basket to make the putt easier, because the closer you get, the more difficult it can become.
There is such thing as being too close on an elevated basket.
It's true. Ohn Scoggins up first. It sort of gets smashed down, but for a par 3, that's a fine drive.
Yeah, we're facing back into that head when this course really flips you back and forth and makes you play into some different winds. And Hailey puts out a stable disc and shows that spin she has, but just never able to move it back left.
Ooh, Cat Mertsch sends one.
Out of the hand, look great. Flipped up a little bit. Still finds her way to 40-footer. Do we still have a lot of low branches on this one, or did it get trimmed up a little bit?
It's a little trimmed up, but it's still fairly low from certain angles. Weese with that flex shot that we've seen in previous holes that has parked it. Let's see if she can do it again.
I really want to see her play some more backhands throughout this tournament if she's feeling good with it, because it's been flying nicely.
She's a great backhand thrower. She's got 400 feet. She's got a good distance shot. Really good at the flex line.
Ohn. Little head turn, putting some spin on it, showing.
She wants closer than that. Hailey King's upshot.
Ohn is one of the most entertaining human beings and just always fun to be around. Jessica's lifts up a bit on her, and
I feel like the base of the tree saved her again.
Yeah,
she's inbounds, putting for par.
They've been utilizing these tree backstops like some true pros here today.
Cat Mertsch pitches up. Everyone looking at a par putt here.
Tricky right to left wind. Ohn busting out the pig.
Putting with a piglet. Get up there.
Wow. What a putting master she is. She said, see what I put? The pig. That's right. Let him know.
Wind fighter. Get in there.
Oh, Jessica.
Weese sneaking that par putt barely over the rim.
You can tell they're getting happy to be close to the end of this round. It's good to see the spirits are high all day.
Hailey King for par.
Yeah, as much as this one's secured, it doesn't move too much, but it definitely is enough to make you think sometimes.
See you later, hole 17. Pars all around.
Hole 18 is going to be a water carry par 3 at 301 feet. You're also going to have a big bushy tree or two of them in front of your way, not allowing you to throw straight at it. If you have a big forehand, it's a good play. A lot of these players are going to play a wide hyzer, hoping to swing it back, but the wind is going to make that tricky today because it's not going to want to move very far left. We'll see what routes they end up taking here.
We do have an out of bounds line on the right. Show us what's up, Ohn. She's ready. You'll better watch out.
I'm so excited. I'm done.
Dance off. She's so excited to be done. So this hole is basically surrounded by OB. Ohn taking that hyzer route. She needs to cut early and fast because that PDGA wall is the out of bounds line. Yeah, depending on the wind, you could do the Annie, the straight shot, the hyzer in.
Yeah, if you have the power for this forehand, you're going to have the least amount of stuff in the way, but yeah, a day like today, you don't keep it low, it's going to lift instantly. And
out of bounds over that line we mentioned over on the right side. If that was flat and lower, it would have been the ideal shot. And this is what I've wanted to see, the backhand turnover.
Yeah, probably a situational play for Kat based off the wind, and she executes pretty well.
Weese with the backhand turnover, one of her specialties. Safe. It feels good just to be safe. It doesn't really matter where you land. It's kind of a mini celebration. So there is a drop zone, so Hailey's now throwing 3 from the drop zone.
We got another tree on the approach. That's been a theme for us today. Not a ton of trees on this course, but when you get to the greens, there's usually a few more.
Ohn with her upshot.
Yeah, nice finesse game all day from Ohn. I feel like all of her 100-foot approaches she's put right up under the basket.
She'll have a drop in for par.
Kat trying to get some extra into this because that left to right's going to cut it out of the air, but end of the day, she just kind of wanted to safe bid it.
Go.
Oh, and Jessica almost ending on a highlight.
Hailey King will take away a birdie here on the last hole of the first round.
A couple tough moments for Hailey today, but definitely showing her prowess as a thrower, and look for her to clean up some of those mistakes and play a solid round tomorrow.
The rest of the card taking pars. That's a good way to walk away on the 18th after a windy day in Vegas. We saw a lot of strong throws, some really good putts. And my favorite part was the super accurate upshots. Yeah,
absolutely. You're going to need them in the wind. You don't really want to be taking too many edge of circle putts, and we have more wind tomorrow. Looking at similar direction out of the south, still about 20 miles per hour. We have Katrina Allen in the lead with everybody else looking to chase. Holly, you rounding out that lead card?
I am. So if you want to check out some more coverage, we hope you will do that tomorrow on Ace Run Pro's YouTube. You can catch Connor and I, the commentary all season long. We appreciate you guys tuning in.